All right, so now that you're getting a little bit more comfortable, let's talk about the art of the prompt. Otherwise known as the question that you're gonna ask when you're talking to any type of AI chat. A great prompt or question for AI should be similar to how you would ask a complete stranger that you've never talked to do something or explain something to you. This is the hardest part about using AI, believe it or not. It's just about asking the right question, and the better, more detailed question that you ask, the better, more detailed answer you will get in return. So let's start going through some of these tips that I have for you guys to help you become expert level prompters or just expert AI users in general. And the first tip is all about being specific. So a vague example would be, tell me about animals. A better question and more specific would be, list 5 mammals that live in the Arctic. You can see how you're going to get a better response. It's not able to read your mind and know what you mean when you ask it to list you off 5 animals. The next tip is to ask open-ended questions for something that you're hoping for a broad answer around. For example, you could ask, is coffee good? It would say yes or no. A more broad open-ended example would be, what are the pros and cons to drinking coffee in my workday? And you can see how it's going to give you a much better answer to have a little bit more detail in that sentence. The next tip, and one that I use in almost every prompt or question that I ask AI, is about the length of the response. So you can ask AI, explain to me everything you know about space. It's going to be quite a long answer. But instead, if you ask, explain to me everything that I need to know about space in 3 sentences or less, it's going to give you a very, very dialed in answer to the most important 3 sentences that you're going to need to know. The next tip is all going to be about context. A general question might be, give me a recipe. A question with more context is just more detailed or more specific, and it's just something as simple as, provide me a vegan recipe for chocolate chip cookies, for example. Another thing I add in nearly all of my prompts is about the tone or the style of what I'm asking. Something very neutral could be, respond to this email and tell them I said no. However, you could adjust the tone by saying, reply to this email in a professional manner and tell them very politely that we're not interested at this time. You're going to get 2 wildly different responses from these 2 questions. And lastly, this isn't always needed to be put into the original prompt, but you can use this as much as you would like when it responds. And this is about seeking clarity on an answer or a piece of information that you were given. For example, your first try when you ask ChatGPT something, you could say, how do I paint? But you could ask for clarity when you say, okay, but how do I paint a wooden chair that needs to be sanded down prior because it has old paint on it? And you're gonna get much, much better results when you give it more information. Now remember, a prompt is all about just guiding AI to give you the best result possible. Without the proper direction, it's not going to be able to give you the proper result. So this is the hardest part about AI. It's not about using it, interacting with it. It's about just asking the proper questions with the right amount of detail to give you the best answer. And if you can master that, and it's pretty easy to master, you're going to be a weapon with AI by your side. Now, I also wanted to just list off a few more example prompts, and feel free to take any of these prompts and just paste them in just to see what you get into Expura. You can use the personal assistant expert if you want to just use somebody general. But if you're working in project management, for example, you can ask, can you suggest ways to improve team collaboration in remote work setups? If you're looking into new sales strategies, you can ask, I'm facing stiff competition in the local markets. Can you brainstorm some unique sales techniques or promotions to stand out in a competitive area? Or if your job is to do email marketing, you can ask it around email campaigns, I need engaging subject lines for our company's upcoming product launch. Any suggestions? Another one in terms of client presentations, and this is around sales as well, you could say, I'm pitching our services to a potential client in the healthcare sector. Can you help brainstorm some talking points? If you're in HR and you're responsible for training employees, you can ask, we're revamping our onboarding process. What are some innovative training methods or tools that we can integrate? If you're in event organization, you can say to an Expura expert, I'm tasked with planning the annual company conference. Can you suggest themes or activities that would be engaging for employees? Stakeholder communication prompt. I have to update our stakeholders on a project delay. Can you help me phrase it in a way that is transparent yet reassuring? Product positioning. We're launching a new software tool for small businesses. Can you brainstorm some key features or benefits to highlight in our marketing? And those are just to help get your juices flowing. You can see how these different questions can really help you in different areas of your work life. It's not so much just about write a response to this email, write a blog post, do this, do that. It should be something that's going to up-level you as a whole. Now, I encourage you to take a couple of those examples, go put them into Expura and try them out. And the key thing here is a feedback loop. Don't just take the first answer that an AI expert might tell you. Go to the full chat. Say, hey, can you make this shorter? Can you make this longer? Can you make this sound more professional? Can you make this sound a little bit less professional? Can you add in some humor? Whatever you need to make this a 10 out of 10 response for you. And the more that you interact with it and ask it to do different things, the easier that it's going to become, because eventually, instead of saying make it shorter or make it longer or make it funny, you're going to automatically just start putting that into your original prompt, and it's going to make it go faster. So the more you learn, the more you use it, the better your prompting is going to be. All right, so in the next video, I'm actually going to get a little bit nerdier, a little bit deeper, but still make it very, very easy for you guys to start automating some of your daily stuff and your tasks and increasing your productivity.